What's up, everybody? It's Luuch here, filling in for Beer at the Fantasy Bar. Before we dive into the picks, if you haven't checked out SimLabs at RotoGrinders, you're missing out. What an edge over the competition. State-of-the-art tool put together by the RotoGrinders team. It's available to RotoGrinders premium subscribers. Check out the link in the description for a discount on RG Premium. Now, let's get on to the picks for this loaded MLB Tuesday. Tons of games tonight. We're going to start off our pitcher for this evening, Logan Gilbert, the ultimate pivot off Chris Sale. He's projected to carry about half of the ownership at Sale at most, and he's been fantastic. Gilbert has recorded 50-plus FanDuel points in 3 of his last 6 starts. The Angels ranked 25th in weighted runs created plus against right-handed pitchers since June 1st. Gilbert's been cruising. We know he has a high leash. He's given up a minuscule barrel rate to righties over the last 30 days. He's striking out 34% of righties over the last 30 days. The guy is just a workhorse. He's pitching at T-Mobile Park. We know it's a tough place to hit. The Angels' implied run total is just a tick over 3. I think Gilbert's in another position to crush tonight. I'm not saying Chris Sale's a bad pick. He's fantastic. He's the cash game guy for sure. But for tournaments, if you're hoping Chris Sale fails at a big ownership number, Logan Gilbert might be just as good. On to the next pick, Bobby Witt. Surprise! Arguably the best player in baseball in the American League. Bobby Witt on fire. I still can't believe he lost the home run derby by a couple of feet at most. Listen, Witt is turning into a matchup-proof autoplay every slate, and his price tag is certainly reflecting that. But what a spot tonight. And I like all the Royals righties, but of course Witt grades out as the best hitter. I think he pairs well with Michael Garcia at the top of the order. Jordan Montgomery throws a lot of changeups, and Garcia has fared well against that pitch. So if you're looking at a Royal stack and not just Bobby Witt, don't forget about Garcia, even though he kind of took a little step backward this season. I think it's a nice spot for him as well. But Witt, I mean, what can you say? He's been otherworldly lately. He's hitting over 550 with a 932 slugging in July. I mean, those are just insane numbers. He'll get southpaw. Montgomery tonight, who we just talked about, he's been mostly underwhelming this season. He's striking out just 13% of righties. He's allowing a 211 ISO and a 392 WOBA against those right-handed hitters. Very subpar. Smash spot for Bobby Witt. We know he can do his thing when he gets on base as well. Fire up Bobby Witt tonight. Don't overthink it. Another infielder tonight. We're moving on to Anthony Volpe. I tell you what, after his torrid start to the season, the Yankees must have thought they found themselves a perennial leadoff hitter. And hey, maybe the cards will shake out that way, and he will be that guy for the next decade. We'll see. But after that beginning to the season, which was sensational, Volpe disappeared, it felt like, for the better part of a decade. But maybe he's back. Volpe's hit in 5 straight games. He has 2 multi-hit games in that stretch with 3 doubles, a homer, and a couple of stolen bases sprinkled in there. In fact, Volpe hasn't had any soft contact in his last 7 games. You gotta love to see a guy who's consistently making hard contact, and eventually the results are going to start showing up again, and they have been the past week or so. He'll square off against the ageless wonder, Jose Quintana, in the Subway Series against the Mets. Quintana has been surprisingly decent this year, but literally every one of his metrics are pretty underwhelming. He has a 4.13 ERA, which is just fine, but his xERA is over 5, and that's telling us he's either been getting unlucky, overperforming, or a combination of both. It's a good spot for the Yankees righties, and that obviously means Aaron Judge is in play, which he is every slate. But if you're looking for someone not named Aaron Judge, and you're looking for an infielder tonight, Anthony Volpe is hot in a good matchup, and he's making hard contact, so he makes the fantasy 6-pack today. Moving on, I got 2 value plays, and I'm really pumped for both of them. We're going to start with Victor Robles, 2,400 on DK and 2,600 on FanDuel. I've been following this guy a long time. I'm in a big Atlantic City keeper league, and he was one of my stashes about 7 years ago. He co-headlined that Nationals farm system along with none other than Juan Soto. I guess I picked the wrong guy. But although Robles has been nothing but pretty much a disappointment at the MLB level during every cup of coffee he received with the Nationals, they finally cut ties with him, and Seattle said, to heck with it, let's give him a shot. There's no telling if Robles little mini heater is an indication of any long-term success, but in DFS, we only care about today. And right now, this guy is creating and he's scoring. He's only been in the bigs for a brief stretch in 2024, so the sample size is pretty small, but he actually leads the Mariners' projected lineup in line drive rate against righties, and he has a really nice 381 WOBA against those right-handed pitchers. Speed was always his biggest strength, no matter how he's been hitting the ball or lack thereof, and he's added 7 swipes in 26 games in the bigs this year. Robles will get Jose Soriano, who in his own right has been a nice surprise for the Angels. He's been borderline fantastic against lefties this year, but he has an overall low strikeout rate. He's walking a ton of righties, and he's giving up a hefty WOBA against those righties hitters. So that kind of falls right in the lap for Victor Robles. Again, I don't know if this version of Robles is here to stay over half of a decade later. Kudos to him if he's finally arrived. It's such a nice post-hype prospect story, I suppose. But he's hot right now. We only care about Tuesday, and he's in a perfect spot against a guy who can't get righties out to score some fantasy points at a cheap price. Fire up Victor Robles tonight. My next value play and the next beer in the six-pack, Tyler Fitzgerald, 3,700 on DK, just 2,300 on FanDuel. Talk about scorching hot. Tyler Fitzgerald, who is this guy? I get it. Not very appealing. Someone who hits in the bottom of the Giants order. A team who is notorious for pinch hitting. This guy's hit 4 home runs in 4 consecutive games. Of course, he's not the next Barry Bonds, but a little bit more about him. He came up with the Giants last year. He played 38 games. He hit 5 home runs and had a .299 batting average. And hitting .299 in modern day baseball is a major feat. It's just crazy how the game has changed. While Fitzgerald isn't my beast of the night, what if I told you he was a beast in the minors, though? In 2023, between double and triple A, Fitzgerald hit 22 homers, drove in 78 runs, recorded a whopping 32 stolen bases, and he almost hit 300. So I don't think anyone in this Giants organization is shocked to see him get super hot right now. He profiles as someone that should stick around in the bigs for a long time. He's affordable on DraftKings. He's dirt cheap on FanDuel, and he plays 3 positions on FanDuel at almost the minimum salary. That's huge as kind of a last piece in guy who's on fire right now. And if you're trying to make a lineup work or fit in an expensive pitcher, Fitzgerald is such a utility piece to the puzzle tonight. Small sample size, but Dodgers starting pitcher Landon Knack has given up a huge 271 ISO, a 12% barrel rate, and a 55% hard hit rate to righties this year. Fitzgerald's arguably the hottest hitter in baseball out of Bobby Witt right now, which is just something I never thought I'd be saying in July. But here he is, and he's in a plus matchup tonight. I like Fitzgerald. He made the 6-pack. And without further ado, let's get to my favorite play of the night. But before we do that, we got to run back the Beast of the Night contest. All you got to do is jump in the YouTube comments, guess the fantasy points scored for our highest scoring hitter on DraftKings. The closest guess gets some free RG Premium. Let's get to my favorite pick of the night, known as the Beast of the Night. We're running it back with Tyler O'Neill. I know what you're saying. Really? Again, Luuch? If you caught yesterday's video, I would not run it back unless it was more of an elite matchup than it was yesterday. He's in such a crazy good spot tonight. I had to do it. He went 3 for 5 for us last night, scored a run, hit a double. I mean, would have been nice to get that home run, but the research kind of made sense. He gets another southpaw tonight at Coors Field, and this lefty is much worse than yesterday's starter in Austin Gombert. Ty Black set to take the bump for the Rocks. Raiders are hitting .372 with a .578 slugging against them. He's striking out just 12% of hitters. He's yielding a .206 ISO, a .427 WOBA, and a 12% barrel rate to right-handed hitters this year. Listen, O'Neill has some of the craziest power splits in the league. Against lefties, he has a massive .321 ISO and just like a joke of a 73% hard hit rate, 73%, and a 40% fly ball rate against those lefties this year. The Rockies bullpen is also bad. We're in the high altitude. It's a fly ball hitter in Denver. I mean, fade him at your own risk tonight, guys. He's in one of the biggest smash spots on the slate. And for that reason, I got to run him back. He's my beast of the night, Tyler O'Neill. Thanks for hanging out with me again. I got one more date with you guys later this week, and then Beer will be back in the reins here. I appreciate you taking the time. Good luck, and let's have a good Tuesday, everybody.
Thanks for checking out our videos. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more DraftKings, FanDuel, and other DFS content. And you can check out our daily live show schedule on RotoGrinders.com/videos.